where you dissipate.
Rendered schizophrenic for all of eternity.
Yeah.
Those are your two options.
Yeah.
Those are both, if we're being honest, both really intense options.
That's a joke premise that I wrote down, but I never expanded on. It was like, remember like 10, 12 years ago when homeless people was just a couple guys in your hometown that knew maybe like a little bit too much about the Bible?
Right.
Harmless. They talk about the Antichrist a lot, but perfectly harmless.
Yeah.
Al Gore knows how to draw a perfect circle. Remember when we wrote that about
Makes
Kamala
sense.
Harris? And I was like, oh, I should change that.
She draws shapes.
Yeah, so Kamala Harris knows how to draw a perfect circle.
Wow.
That's a rumor that we're starting on Stoney Baloney.
That's a good rumor.
I think so too.
Some positive clout. What are you doing? Packing a bowl there?
Sorry, no spliffs, bud.
No, that's okay.
No tobacco policy in here.
Really? Is that enforced by the landlord?
It's much more cozy than our fucking bedroom that we were
I
recording.
like the bedroom. Why'd you
Yeah.
guys move out? You just feel like you needed more space?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And reliability. The person that we were working with was also working like another job, so it was just hard to get scheduling right and stuff. So moving here also ultimately made more sense. Plus
Right.
Taylor and Tony, they're the best. They're the fucking best.
That's Tony or the Taylor?
That's Tony.
Tony.
Bologna.
Togna Bologna. Thorn Hill.
Tried and true.
What is that? A band or something? What kind of genre? Like rock? Metal? Yeah. You like to get angry? Yeah.
I like the way you giggled after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sure do.
Yeah, I feel like there's no real Zen metal enthusiasts. You know what I mean?
There is like ambient metal. It's kind of cool.
Really?
So most metalheads are actually very calm and easygoing in their everyday life. Listening to heavy music like that helps release cortisone.
So it like calms
So
you down.
It relieves stress.
Wow.
But
Yeah,
also,
it's like Ritalin. Like if it works for you, it does that. But if you're the opposite brain, it's just like
Crazy.
Yeah. yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
Tool though that's like guided meditation for metalheads. I love Tool.
Tool.
Guided meditation.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Their first couple albums are like very angry, but they're like their first three or
But it's
four.
also kind of the progression of like one working out one's anger.
Yeah, man, it's
Like
really
the
cool.
first couple of albums, you can tell he still really feels the shit he's saying, and then the next couple, he's like,
Yeah,
I kind of chilled the fuck out a little.
and
bit.
it's
Figured-
that's
figured
also
out my
just
feelings.
the natural progression of like a man, right?
Yeah,
Like-
absolutely.
Like
Yes.
they were in their early 20s. They still had some of that teenage angst, and they're
Yeah.
like,
Also, you can tell like he had been through at least one, but probably a couple of really brutal endings to relationships.
whether
And
they're
that-
friends or women,
that type of thing. The way that drives your whole perspective on life. Yeah. And when you're young and that's all you have, you know what I'm saying? It's like everything. You know what I'm saying? Everything is shit. And there is no love. Like those feelings that just come from like, again, being young and your perspective being like, that's all I've experienced. So that's all that's out there.
Yeah.
then they kind of come out the other side of that, and it's much more like, don't get me wrong, it's still Tool and it's still heavy, and but the lyrics and stuff are a lot less angry and like, you know, fuck the world and
Right.
like I'm a victim to society's bullshit, and
Right.
they're more about like breathe, be in tune with the universe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know,
And
we're
also
all
like
one spirit
the world
type
is
shit.
fucked up, but I get it.
Right? Yeah, but like let's love each other about it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? We only got one shot at this.
That's beautiful.
yeah.
They're cool. Have you seen? Do you go to metal concerts?
I've been to see Tool. Now, the metal that Tony listens to, I'm pretty sure is like heavier than what I listen to. Yeah.
Do you mosh, Tony? Do you go to metal concerts and mosh out?
I play.
You play metal. Okay,
Yeah,
so,
so
you're
he
up there on
makes
stage.
people mosh. How cool is that? Like seeing somebody mosh to your music.
It's really cool.
I bet that's
I bet,
amazing.
Yeah.
It's got to be a different level of.
Once played a show where
Power.
Some dude got his nose broken to one of our songs, and we were in a battle of the band, so that like boosted us.
Yeah.
They gave you points
Fuck
for that?
yeah, dude.
5 points for the broken nose. Have you ever smashed
fucking
anything on stage, like a
amazing.
guitar or something, like while playing? Yeah.
You guys can't afford other guitars.
They're still respectful
They're not
of
the
the
fucking
equipment.
Who.
Yeah.
Not yet. What was I gonna ask? Your guys are playing like a lot of like double bass pedals, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really hard to do.
Yeah, it's
What do you play?
I play guitar, but I'm learning drums.
drums are.
Just so you can flex.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched on YouTube it's called Tribal, but it's spelled with a Y. Is the name of the channel, and it's this dude who brings like 3 religious leaders from like they're in somewhere in the Middle East, and it's like this guy, he hosts a show and he brings on like 3 different religious leaders. It's the same guy, same 3 guys every time, and he shows them American music and breaks down the lyrics for them and stuff, and then they kind of have it's like their reaction videos basically.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting because it's these guys who are just closed off in this whole other society and like way of life, you know what I mean? Who've probably the live music that they see is just like shit at the market or like
Yeah.
at a wedding, you know? They don't have like concerts the way that we have concerts.
Right.
And then you show them this video of Tool playing in front of a massive stadium of people.
And they're going like crazy. What the fuck? Yeah. That's incredible. It's always fun to see people in like third world countries experience like first world shit. Have you seen the YouTube channel where the guy just like brings like Skittles to Africa?
But it also
just like,
Just like, I'm gonna blow your fucking mind.
like, look,
Yeah,
shit we eat.
but some of it's kind of fucked up though. Like that's
Of
like
course.
their immune systems and like digestive tracts can't handle fucking Skittles.
Yeah, not that
You
much
know?
sugar.
Like if I took that McDouble and gave that to an uncontacted tribe in New Guinea, like they would fall over and die.
Yeah, or they would get the shits and then die from it because they don't have a clean water source to fucking survive. The reason we can survive the horrific things we put in our body is because we have
Clean water
access
to drink.
to it. Yeah.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, the diarrhea must be insane from that, huh?
Like, you would
42
know.
days and 42 nights of just shitting.
Of just water butt.
Do you guys wear the headsets?
Sometimes we do. We've
I'm gonna
had
stop.
some issues recently with them. I don't know. They sound good today.
I'm gonna use it to sound check, but then I'm gonna take it off just because I feel more
Whoa.
comfortable personally.
I like being in the headphones.
This sounds crazy.
It's a weird experience hearing your own voice in the conversation.
Yeah. I'm like not
it's-
used to that at all.
Yeah, it's odd, but it helps you recognize like what your audio volume is.
Right.
Also, I like it because it kind of puts you in like you're in a different place. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you're enclosed in the
You're in
studio.
podcast land.
Podcast.
But it scares Scott. So.
The audio's super cool.
Scary.
Yeah. Podcast land is fun. I'm glad this is going well for you guys. Seems like you're hitting your stride.
I feel like we are. We have been for sure.
I
We've
agree.
definitely been finding a groove.
Yeah.
The consistency, man. Consistency is everything. It's just like anything else.
Man, yes. Yeah, it really is. Yeah. Yeah, consistency and finding the right pieces, which we were talking about, just like getting the right studio, the right producer, getting people who are all like able to be aligned, like everybody's schedule works together and all the little things that you don't think about when you're starting something.
Right.
Because you're just excited to start it, and then along the way you're like, "Oh fuck, that's actually important."
Right.
Like I had no idea, but like that's a make or break thing, and you find a lot of those things along the way, and we've put, I feel like enough of them in place that this is kind of the train's moving. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? It's
What episode number is this?
25, 26, something like
Yeah.
that.
Oh, hey.
yeah,
It's better than 99% of most people.
yeah.
Don't make it past episode 20.
I think that's the number. 20 is usually the stopping point. And we also, honestly, we're actually at episode like 35 or something like that.
Yeah,
'cause
but we got
there's-
a bunch that.
There's like your first episode, there's a bunch of them that
Yeah.
the camera got fucked up, something like that, and it just wasn't able to.
How long ago was that? I was thinking about that the other day.
maybe a year,
I'm
because it was
Close
close
to
to
it.
the beginning, and that's roughly when we started. Was about a year ago.
Yeah, because you came on when we didn't have the producer, when it was still you and I producing.
Oh shit, that's right. Yeah, when we were just using phones around the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, it
probably
was-
last summer.
It was a different thing.
Yeah.
And you guys had to do the editing and stuff.
Gabe was doing all the editing
Jeez.
and trying to splice together 3 videos off 3 different phones.
And not knowing what the fuck I was doing clearly,
Yeah.
because it didn't, it didn't always work out,
But that's a growing
but it got
pain.
us here. That got us here,
There you
and
go.
it was, it was a lot of fun. Even the shit that didn't work, and it, there's moments like that. It sucks. Like our first episode was a really good episode, and it'll never see the light of day. But it's,
Yeah.
that's all right.
Hey, round
That
2.
got us here. Yeah,
One door closes, another one opens.
absolutely. Yeah. So how's shit been going with you, man? You've been busy comedy wise. Obviously, having your own show is good because you've got a spot that you can work regularly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I was doing the knee slapper the last time.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
The knee slapper is on pause for now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a lot. It's just so much. I mean, you guys know, to produce like a game show and get
Uh-huh.
better at comedy
Yep.
and do your day job and be in a relationship. It's just like, all right, I got to choose my battles. So
Yeah.
I'm doing the pod. We got the Faded Reality show where we just watch reality TV like live with an audience. Super fun.
Who are you doing that with?
It's Shannon Sims. It was his idea.
Okay.
Nice.
And then it was like I built a studio, like a show, like a little stage in my apartment, and have a whole like comedy setup like in my apartment with the TV in the backdrop, like right in front of the
Oh,
curtains.
you're actually doing it in your apartment.
So I'm doing
that's
it in my-
excellent.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, it's like fun, but it's
I
also
wanna come over
scary.
and see that.
You should. Yeah, we're having one this Thursday. Dylan Carlino was just on. Then we're having this girl Fiona on. She's super cool. We're growing quick. Yeah.
Nice.
But we're just focusing on the clips because like editing a full length podcast is crazy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Honestly, the difference is having, again, the right people in the right place. Because if you've got somebody who's producing it for you live, like he's switching cameras back and forth as
Right.
we go. But you know what I'm saying? So the actual editing process now is very smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, your equipment's better than we just use like a live mixer like you would for a comedy show. Put 2 mics and the speakers in it,
Uh-huh.
and then we just have the audio recorder hooked up to the speaker or to the mixer rather. So it's like we capture the audio from the microphones, but it's also the speaker. But the audio recorder also captures like the audience's.
Nice. And it
We're
works
s-
well.
It works well. And we're still shooting like we shoot off my iPhone,
Okay.
Shannon's Samsung, so
Nice.
it works, man. But it's cool. Yeah. Anyway, so doing that, just working at East Austin Comedy Club, and then barking for spots.
Yep.
You know how it be, just grinding.
Yeah. Are you working at East Austin?
I am.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Just like working the door and stuff.
Working
serving.
the door, yeah. And like sitting people down, selling seltzer waters.
Yeah.
You
Do you
like-
get stage time? For
Yeah, they give you 5 to 8 minutes. Last night was cool because the 8 p.m. was like 55 people got 8 minutes on that, and then they
And 55 people in that room has got to feel like
it's live.
a million.
It's
Yeah.
live, yeah.
Yeah, that's
like a-
that's packed.
It's like a small little like warehouse type studio space.
nice low ceiling.
Yeah,
it's
so-
built. It's. I saw all the pictures of all you guys working on it as it went along. That's a very very nice space.
Yeah, it's sick. So that's a super fun club. And then yeah, just like barking here and there. Yeah, Vulcan, Maggie Mays, you know.
Okay, nice.
The deal. I don't mind helping out and pitching in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because when I first moved here, I started producing shows, so I understand how fucking hard it is to
It
produce
is.
a show.
Yeah, it is.
Just selling tickets is the hardest thing in the
Yeah,
world.
and also in this town where everybody's trying to sell tickets to a show.
Yeah,
Like standing out and getting people in. It's a lot of work.
exactly.
We had a lot of fun when we would do it together. I always hated barking by myself.
Right.
But like we would get real silly back
Yeah,
and
we
forth,
just feed
and
off
it
each
worked.
other.
You would get, you know what I'm saying? Like
Oh, you gotta.
yeah,
You gotta
yeah.
get silly. You gotta make it fun. Otherwise, you're just miserable.
I mean,
out
barking
there.
sucks
Absolutely,
at the
yes.
very beginning, but then you just learn to power through it. After the first couple of rejections, you're like, all right, well, who cares? You know what I mean? And then it gets fun. Then it gets
Right.
really, and that's when you start barking people in because you're just like, I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? You just nothing to lose.
And also you're having fun, which
Yeah.
is like, oh well, that seems like a thing I want to be involved in.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. As opposed to like comedy show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
When you're being silly with it and you're sneaking up and you're like, don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Got this comedy show.
Also, we've had the other silly thing we'll do when you've got multiple people is we'll have somebody who says no to him, and then I'm like 5 feet behind them. And as soon as they turn from him saying no, I'm like, what about now? And just something stupid. And like sometimes you get somebody who's like, all right, fucking, you make them laugh. And then they're like, all right, I give in. Because that's all it takes. And 100% of those people aren't actually going to show up to the comedy show.
Right.
But that's that's one of those things that sometimes that motion is 2 or 3 shows down the road that person shows up,
right?
And you may not even know all of the time how successful that's actually going to turn out,
right?
But it's also just a good exercise.
Yeah, it's like crowd work on the streets.
Yep.
And forcing yourself to be funny in a situation where you do not want to be.
Exactly.
Yeah, where you just want to like get this over with.
Yeah. It's a open mic in the streets.
Yeah, pretty much. I had my microphone plugged into a guitar amp with like a generator. So I had like a portable like speaker setup, and I was on E6 one time. Just
that's fun.
Doing but except they shut me down like immediately.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. You're not allowed to have amplified sound like in the city of Austin without a permit.
Oh, that's the trigger?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So they just gave me like a little slap on the wrist and was like, don't do this again. But like it didn't really seem like, I don't know.
Wait,
it's like a gray law. You know what I mean?
Do the Black Israelites just yell, or are they amplified?
They must be getting permits because they're always amplified.
Okay. So I guess they're getting...
They got permits. They went to the city of Austin. It was like, we need amplified sound for this.
Yeah, we have... The people need to hear what we have to say.
Right.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah.
I wonder what that process is like. This is a riveting podcast. What'd you guys talk about? Well, how to get a permit to have amplified. Yeah, we'll probably skip that.
All right, moving on. Good to be here.
It is, yeah.
Good to be alive.
Yeah.
You guys are so fun. Do you know that?
Thank you.
Like, as comedians, I feel like, you know what I mean? Because most people in this town, they're like cranky or sad or anxious to be somebody.
Yeah.
And you guys are just like, hey.
I have my moments of weakness too.
Oh,
but yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
But I feel like
helps
Don't give me all that credit because I can be all of those things at once.
Yeah,
brother.
absolutely. It helps to have somebody to like that you're constantly working with to level that.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, and also understanding the reality, like we're all under so much pressure. This is such a crazy thing we're doing, and the success rate is so low.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense for any of us to be doing this. You know what I'm saying? Like mathematically speaking, we're all morons.
We do it for the love.
Yeah.
Not because it's practical.
Absolutely. But you can get lost in that because there is the pressure to like, all right, well, I've got to, fucking eat and pay my bills
Right.
and, all that shit.
Yeah.
And obviously some people get caught up in the the Hollywood of it. You know what I'm saying? Where
Yeah.
they're just like, well, I can get, famous or well known or whatever. But even people who aren't doing that, it's it's fucking stressful what we do.
Well, I feel like here in Austin, like there's such a big scene that like we're all just coming together and growing together, and it'll really be something different in the next like 5-10 years. I feel like.
Oh, it's insane.
yeah.
What?
You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
What's going to happen to this place over the next 5 years, decade, 2 decades, whatever?
Like the
it's gonna
level
be-
everybody's gonna be on from just absolutely ripping it in this city is gonna be crazy.
Especially as these studios start opening up and they start employing some of these crazy comedians from around town, and we start getting some of those movie credits and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Man, this shit's
Yes.
gonna get wild. It's
Is
gonna
there a
be
movie?
weird.
Is there an acting scene here? A movie scene here?
It's they're setting it up. They're building studios right now.
Wow.
So it's just a matter of time before this will be a center for that, which which makes sense. The money always follows after the artistic center of a new town is
Right.
set up. The money will come in and try to milk as much of that as it can. Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're
So-
building a nice ass studio out in Bastrop, and they're building another one down in San Marcos too.
Really?
So so San Marcos is only like 35 minutes away.
Yeah, and they're both like massive Hollywood size and style studios.
Super
Like,
legit and
Yeah, they're
pristine.
gonna put like
Luxury.
some large productions through these
Yeah.
studios for sure. Yeah.
And you'll see some people that we know go through there and
Oh, for sure.
and get big opportunities and get recognition for it, and they'll blow up a little bit because of that too. And that's just going to keep doing the same thing. It's just going to cause a domino effect for everybody else,
Right.
man.
It's like the new Hollywood.
Yeah.
A little
It's
bit.
awesome.
Yeah.
Now
step.
the downside to that is we are going to have people who are moving here to do comedy to get a reel, so they can be an actor to get an acting.
Of
reel.
course. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah.
But
Yeah, and it'll suck
We
to
just
have to
gotta
deal
not
with
get-
them to give up stage time for those facts. And, but it'll be part of the process.
We just can't let it make us bitter.
Nope.
Be like LA comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also along the way, you're going to interact with some of those people and be like, oh, you're just a fucking person doing your thing.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
Like, the hate I have has nothing to do with you. It has to do with the fact that your world is different than my world and we crossed paths.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe I should work harder. Whatever.
Yeah.
Or
It's all on you.
be prettier.
Be funnier.
Facts. Hell yeah. What's on the agenda tonight, boys?
You tell me. You're the one who's got the story.
Yeah.
So I do the story, and then you guys do the story.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, we got the format down to since the last time you saw us. So before it used to be
it was
all
wild.
wacky.
It was completely
It was a
insane.
lot.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
a lot.
It was basically a game show when you came on last time.
Yeah,
It was off the
4D
rails.
chess. Yeah.
Yeah, but now it's super simple. You tell your story. We're both going to tell stories. One of us is lying. One of us is telling the truth. You guess at the end.
Nice.
Yeah.
Word. Story time.
Yeah.
Story time with Ramin.
Story. Where do I want to go?
I'm excited for
I was
this one.
thinking about
Right.
when I was a kid. Do you guys have memories from when you were like really young, like
Yep.
as a child?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 3-4 years old.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
One of my first memories as a kid. Okay, I'm Persian, so my parents brought me like a big Persian New Year ceremony out in New York.
What does that look like?
So just like imagine like a mosque in Iraq.
Is that a standard thing? Like New Year's is a big thing in the Persian community? Is
Yeah.
that a standard thing?
It's called Nowruz. It's like the first day of spring.
Okay.
It's the Persian calendar New Year.
Okay.
So it's just like a
Oh, it's not January 1st, our New Year.
Yeah.
The New Year in the Persian
It's like
calendar. Got it,
Chinese
got it,
New
got it.
Year. It's different.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like a big. It was just like this big gathering of Iranians, you know what I mean? Because they don't really like know each other that well from all over, just trying to meet each other. So it's like a super serious, formal. It's just like traditional Iranian people gathering around to like celebrate the Persian festivities, right?
And 9/11, obviously.
Yeah, of course. What else would they celebrate? Anyways, so
7-Elevens.
I was a young kid. I was probably 4 years old. And they'd stick all the kids together to just go play and like run amok and just like have fun. We don't want to deal with you, so entertain yourselves. So in that group, we're talking about like dicks, you know, penises.
Yeah, that takes about 2 seconds after all the adults are gone. It's
Yeah.
like dicks,
It's okay.
What's
dicks,
on the
and,
menu?
dicks and shits. That's what we're talking about
Farts
today.
and dicks.
Yeah. You guys see what you got going on down there? Like, check this shit out. And then I
Yeah.
would flash my dick.
Oh yeah, you were the dick out guy.
I was the dick out
There's
guy.
always at least one. Sometimes there's competing dick out guys, but there's always at least one that's like that you can count on. And
It was
If you
and
have two,
not just when you're kids. Like I remember like college parties, and it was like dick out guy, he's here.
if you have two dick out guys in your friend group, you have to find a new friend group.
That's true. Yeah. Or one of the dick out guys has to find a new friend group.
Yeah, exactly. You have to excommunicate one of the dick out guys or yourself. That's too many dick out guys.
Because then eventually
you can
they're
have
gonna,
one.
Eventually they're gonna run into each other. And, then
And now it's a problem.
portal opens.
Is this a thing? Dick? I thought I was like the only one who thought
I'm,
it was
I'm sorry
funny.
to.
No, all good. Do you guys know dick out people?
Wreck your. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. I would argue not even just like one time. Like each of my friend groups that was dudes. Each one of them had a dick out guy.
A dick out guy.
Yeah.
Who just shows dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a tuck guy.
So you're the dick out guy.
I was the dick out guy
Tuck guy. Yes.
when I was like 4. So I started flashing the kids, and then the kids were all sick of
Good
me
thing
and
you were
running
doing that
away.
when you were 4. You grew out of that, right?
Well,
flashing
yeah,
kids?
it comes in the story. What happens? So then I start running around and like.
How long has it been since you flashed a 4-year-old your dick?
Oh, probably like 25 years, give or take.
That's a perfect amount of time.
Yeah.
Okay. Not for me. For me, that would still be problematic. That's not long enough for me. But for you, that's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
So it's been about 24 years since I just was rocking my toddler cock out. And
Sorry, I
showing
was
the
just
world what I
imagining
had.
17-year-old Gabe showing 4-year-old's dick, which, I'm not any better for thinking it.
No, you're not.
Yeah. I like how that made you laugh too.
It made my headphones fall off is how it made me laugh.
Yeah. So then I started showing the adults, and it was funny too because I wouldn't do it at first. I would be like, "Hi," and I was like a 4-year-old kid, so I was like a cute Iranian boy, and they'd be like, "Hey," and then I just bam,
Bam! Here it is.
and then I just watch your face go from like And that was like the thing that was like so funny to me.
That was your high.
Yeah, it's
That's
just
what you were going
it's
after.
like
was
taking
that
them here,
moment.
being normal, and then just the immediate drop.
That's
I'm just
so
like,
amazing.
what the fuck?
That's so much fun. And the transition, because when you were just doing it to kids, like there's a little bit of like, oh my God. But again, they just run away. But that seeing an adult have that experience of like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
That's gold. That's
Because
amazing.
it's way worse for the adult. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the kid's just like, kid getting away. The adult's like has to deal with what's happening.
Yeah, they have to look at a little child's penis. So I was just doing that for like 2 minutes. Didn't last long until my parents found out.
Oh, word got out quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he immediately came over to end that on site. So he was coming to try and beat me with just like his bare hands, and like everybody was like waiting for it too. Because they're like, "What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Letting your son run around, just causing a wreck."
Uh-huh.
And I remember just like crawling underneath tables, like hiding from my dad, like not trying to get the shit kicked out of me.
Dick out?
No, the dick was. I put the
Okay.
dick back
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
because I was scared shitless.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not this brave. I'm kind of brave.
There's
I'm
one
not this-
instinct he still had as a child, and that's put your dick away before all this kerfuffle happens. You know what I mean? Before I start crawling around under picnic tables and dads chase me, I should probably put my cock away before I get a
exactly.
splinter. Or
And
something.
also, it's good because if he had beat you while your cock was still out, then you might still have that fetish. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah, that- we'd be
you
doing
might
a whole
need
different
old
podcast.
Iranian dudes to beat you to come. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
hard,
And that's
yeah.
not.
That'd be
Nobody
quite the
needs that.
fetish.
Nobody needs that. It takes so long. You know what I'm saying? To find the right old Iranian guy.
It would take forever.
It would.
In
Oh
Austin,
my god.
Right? Yeah.
I don't think it exists.
Yeah, there's not a park for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No gatherings.
No.
Nobody has a Hinge profile.
Yeah.
It's just Muhammad.
There's no Iranian dating apps.
Yeah.
You know?
Unfortunately.
There's Muzzmatch.
No way. What?
You don't know about that?
Muzzmatch?
How do I know about Muzzmatch and you don't know about it?
Because
I'm not.
he's Zoroastrian.
That's true.
Oh.
Wow, Scott, I'm impressed. You remember that.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
Yep. Talked about it ad nauseum. Not ad nauseum. That sounds
You
disrespectful.
would-
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, we get it. You're a man of fucking faith. Whatever, dude.
Yeah.
So what is that?
It's like the first monotheistic religion. Do you know about monotheism?
Mm-hmm.
Like one god. It's the oldest monotheistic
It's
religion.
the original?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Dates back to like northern Iran. Or like, I don't know the date on it, but
It's pronounced Iran.
Iran, Iran. I was code switching for
Iran.
I thought you guys would understand me better if I said Iran.
That's
These
like that's,
Iranians. I just think back to 06 Bush, just fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like when
Going
you
crazy.
meet the dude at the Sitgo station. You're like, "What's your name?" He's like, "Kenny." I'm like, "Your name.
It's not gonna.
Your name is not Kenny. Your name is something difficult to say, and you're scared that I'm going to butcher it. You don't want to hear everybody butcher your name all day, so you just,
And I get that.
I'm Kenny.
Yeah.
It's a smart
easier.
move.
Yeah.
That's a
Really?
good move.
Yeah. People
I like that you stuck with Ramin. You were like, "No, that's my fucking name. Say it.
Ramin.
Learn to say it."
I usually just go up on stage as Ramin, though. It's not like Ramin Mozhgani, because people can't pronounce the last name.
They get
And I-
stuck on that.
They fuck it up. They forget.
Ramin Moosh.
They're just Ramin Mozhgani. Like every comedian who I've told, I'm like, they're like, I got it, and they'll go up and then like they'll get to the end of the set and they'll be like, Ramin Mozhgani. Just like mumble their way through it.
Ramin! Here it is, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's no other Ramins really. Have you met another Ramin?
No, I don't.
Yeah. Have you met another?
One of a kind.
Exactly. Well, here anyways.
Yes.
Commodity in America. In Iran, there's a fuck ton of them.
Probably a bunch.
Yeah. It's like the Dan equivalent.
Is that why you came here? You were like, fuck, it's so many goddamn Ramins.
It
Yeah.
gets confusing after a while.
It is.
I was born here, actually. My parents
okay.
came here. Yeah. They had to flee because they were getting stones thrown at them and shit in the streets. Yeah, that was a thing.
Legitimately?
Yeah, because of religion. And when the Shah was getting
Oh,
overthrown, tensions were really tense.
Ooh.
So they were like,
Is
"All right,
that
we're out."
so? Is that a sect that's not popular? Like it is not, or like currently in the.
It was like when the Persian Empire declined,
Uh-huh.
like Islam took over as a dominant religion, and then they created. It's kind of like how black people are in America. It's like there's laws that like oppress Zoroastrians. For example, like if a Muslim woman were to marry into a Zoroastrian family, and like regardless if it was the second or the fifth son, like just because she's Muslim, she'd be entitled to the entire inheritance of that Zoroastrian family just because she's Muslim. that make sense?
Oh, so she just like gets it
She gets all of it.
because she's better. Fuck,
Yeah.
that's brutal.
Yeah, so it's like life sucks here. We gotta be out of here.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
Built into the place that you live, that's brutal.
Yeah. So it was just like it's racism, oppression.
Yeah.
It's just everywhere, man.
Yeah, that's
on a
gnarly.
bunch of different levels.
Yeah.
The division is existent and prevalent wherever they can find a way. Wherever it is, that's just part of human nature.
Yeah,
too.
exactly. People like exploiting power,
It's
just being better.
It's
bigger.
It's left. It's right. It's blue. It's red. It's Drake. It's Kendrick. It's
Yeah.
it's all the things.
It's all things.
Yeah, it's easier for somebody who intends to be above other people. It is easier to push other people down than move yourself up.
Right.
If that is your goal, it is.
Well, there's also like inherent need, there's a need to do that almost to succeed, like survival of the fittest, to be top of the food chain, to be king. You have to subjugate people to do the work for you. Like you know what I mean? That's always
yeah,
existed.
but that's yes.
that
but that-
exists in other walks of life too, like monkeys and stuff. They have like a hierarchy.
Of course,
and apes,
yeah. There's natural things that happen in human reality, and then there's also the reality of people exploiting those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those things have existed for all of time.
Yeah. What-
So
Tell us more about your pee-pee.
Your dad's chasing you under the tables.
Dad's chasing me under the tables. And then I eventually just like have to come out. So I'd come out from underneath the table, and he just like gives me a little, puts me in a corner. Then I sit in a corner for like the next 3 hours, like by myself.
3 hours?
Yeah,
Good long.
That's
a
a
good
discipline.
one. That's
You know what I
that's
mean?
some time to
You
think about
can't-
what you've done.
I mean, you got a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really had a lot of time
Yeah.
to reflect and channel that energy inward and be like, what am I doing here?
What,
I don't want to be this guy.
Come on, fucking Ramin.
I don't
What
need
are
to be
you?
the dick guy. So
I
yeah.
have so many possible paths in life.
So that was
Don't be
like
the dick guy.
one of the earliest memories I have as a child. And I
Oh,
think
that's fantastic. 'Cause
Yeah.
That's like when Ramin came to be.
that's like
Was fucking.
how I knew I was just fucking operating on a different wavelength than everybody else.
Do you think that day your dad stopped you from being that guy in the park that's like, hey, what's going on? You're like,
I
do you
think
think that was a turning point in your life? Do you think if you didn't get the
I don't
receive
think
the
so.
message?
I don't
No,
think
I
that
think it
guy.
was-
That guy's not dick out at the party guy. That guy's not dick out at a joke for a joke. That guy is the guy who nobody's ever seen his dick. And
Okay.
he's
Yeah.
so sad and depressed about it that
Yeah.
he's like, I'm gonna make people see my dick.
Yeah. I think my
That's
dad was
true.
just preventing me, like, he didn't want pedophiles, like, getting aroused by his son. So he's
Yeah.
got to stop
That's
this.
true,
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
That's
He
part
was
of
like,
it,
you
too.
You know?
yeah, you don't want to pull your dick out in front of the wrong adult.
Right. It's just a pedophile's wet dream.
And their face does the opposite. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That's not
goes
what you
from
want.
sad to like,
Oh, finally, a 4-year-old's dick. Now this is a party. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, that's when I was like, all right, I'm not normal,
I'm not like all of these other people.
but I learned to understand myself, and it's going pretty well so far. So.
Like, how can I make people react like that without pulling my dick out?
Right.
Yes.
It was a steep learning curve.
Is that because your dick like goes to the left a little bit? A learning curve to the left?
Actually, that's kind
Leaning
of weird
curve.
how you.
Oh, did he nail it?
Yeah, you kind of nailed it.
Nice.
A little slight bend on the left.
Nice. Very nice.
Only soft though. Hard is just like
Right.
curves upwards. You know those dudes who get hard and then their dick is still kind of like limp? That's crazy to me.
Yeah. You ever seen in porn the guy where his nuts are like a couple inches up his dick?
No.
Oh.
Yeah. You don't see it very often, but that's when they get the fucking tendon clipped. Yeah.
The vasectomy?
No.
Oh,
no.
that-
So
that
there's
story that you
so the thing that makes your dick like that you can control the motion of it, that's a
Okay.
tendon. And if you cut that tendon, it drops your dick down, and the part of your dick that's like attached to your body is exposed now. So technically your dick is longer. However, your balls don't move down.
Whoa.
So they're in the same place. So there's like dick, balls, and then like an inch of dick past the balls before body. It's so fucking weird looking. Yeah.
I can't even visualize that.
Yeah, I'm trying not to. It probably looks like one of those like gas mask bongs, not like this one, but the one that's like, it has a straight and a little.
That's exactly what it looks like.
Oh, that's weird.
hilarious.
That's crazy.
That's-
So it's like on the shaft, kind of.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, so it's like you have extra dick, but it's not usable unless
like
you're putting your
behind-
nuts in there, and that seems like that's painful. That doesn't seem like that would
Probably
be
gonna like
enjoyable.
band them up. Just get a little rubber band.
Yeah.
Yeah, tie them on up. They probably work around if you have to deal with it on a day-to-day basis.
You'd find a way.
Yeah.
Nature finds a way.
All right. Enough about penises.
So that was the last time you pulled your dick out?
That
in front of
was
people?
no, but like probably without consent, yes.
Okay.
Do you think if you got real good and drunk at a party with buddies that were like real close with you, that you would like
Would
you,
just be like,
you know what I should do?
Look at this.
Pull my cock out.
What if it was the same crew? Be like, hey, you guys, remember?
No, there's no way.
You get invited to your buddy's wedding and you take him. Yeah.
It's just a bunch of like Iranian. Probably,
Or you
my
walk
age.
in and they're all like, Ramin. They're like, we call it doing the Ramin. Yeah.
Right. Everyone just pulls down their pants, and the show's on the road. No, haven't pulled my dick out since I learned my lesson.
Okay.
That's why I think waiting 3 hours was important.
That was the right amount of time. 2.5 hours, you'd have been like, I'm still doing this.
Yeah,
3 hours was what you needed.
3 hours is just like this sucks. Like,
Yeah, it does.
I don't want to
spot.
sit and do nothing for
Everybody
3
else is having
hours.
fun.
It wasn't worth it to me. So
And they're not showing their dicks.
Yeah. So it was a logical. I mean, I was 4, so I didn't know anything about the world. I was also just a crazy 4-year-old.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like all the 4-year-olds are pulling their dicks out.
Yeah.
You were a special kind.
I definitely think I was more on the spectrum and kind of learned to wheeze my way off of it.
I was a gross little boy when I was 4 years old.
What did you do?
I used to take poops in places that I wasn't supposed to.
Like what places?
Oh, like
Yeah, that's a good start. That was a great start. I used to poop anywhere but the toilet.
so I've definitely been pooped in the bathtub as a kid
Okay, that's not that
more
bad.
than once.
But like, okay, like
Just run the
while
water.
you were taking a bath,
Yeah.
or you just like sat over the edge
no,
of the
while I was
bathtub
taking
like
a bath.
it's shit time.
No, while I was
Because
taking a bath.
that's much funny.
I remember my mom coming in very angry and upset with me about that one. Because I was also just like, it was like one of those things like, I don't want to get out. You're a kid, you don't know better yet that's like, it's not hygienic to be.
It's still
Yeah.
mostly funny. You're like, it's a poop. Ah, poop.
But I'm just like, didn't want to stop playing with my toys and was like, if I can pee in the pool, I can poop in the bathtub.
Come on.
Yeah,
You know?
that's not that bad.
Yeah.
Pooping in the bathtub.
So I remember pooping in the bathtub once.
Joey Diaz agrees.
I remember pooping in the toy chest once,
Nice.
and then I remember my dad having to clean it up.
That was a little less like, I thought this would be okay.
These are my things.
What was like your thought process? Do
You
you
knew
remember?
shitting in the
Hell
toy
no.
box was wrong. As you were doing that, you know your brain was like, I should not be doing this.
But I remember having to play with they had been cleaned, everything got cleaned, but I remember having to play with this same shitty Matchbox cars for years that had like poop stains on them and stuff.
Do they have
You
a little
still
bit
played with the toys
a little
after
bit
you
of
pooped
smell
on
to
them?
them?
No.
Yeah.
Poop toys.
Those must have been some pretty pricey toys. We're like, we're not.
No,
gonna
we
throw
were
these
just
away.
very poor.
Yeah, all
couldn't
toys were
afford new
pricey.
toys. Yeah, exactly. All toys.
So you just had the same toys. I just bought video games. That's all I played. I didn't have toys really.
No.
I just liked video games more. And then like when I was growing up, the N64, like
Yeah, by the
was
time
on the come up. You know what I mean?
yeah, by the time you were that age, video games were much better.
It was just like video games and music.
Yeah.
Paying for singles on Apple iTunes. Remember that? You used to have to pay for music.
Yeah, individually. Yeah,
Yeah.
you paid 99 cents a song.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I still have like the Black Eyed Peas.
What's crazy is that worked after LimeWire. Like people were already used to getting music for free, and somehow Apple conned people into paying for it.
Was it because you couldn't
Because you couldn't put music
transfer-
onto your iPod except from iTunes, and it had to be downloaded.
Exactly. Yeah,
yeah.
that's how they got
Yeah,
you.
they got people in with the because
No, but I remember us
originally
downloading
the
stuff off-
iPods you could just put stuff in, but once they introduced iTunes, you couldn't anymore. You had to dock it to iTunes to load stuff on and off.
Yeah, that's crazy. I saw like the rise of Apple. Like growing up, I grew up right next to it. Just like Macintosh, fat computers.
Where'd you go up?
Newton, Massachusetts.
Okay.
Do you know Newton? Louis C.K. grew up there.
Okay.
Joe Rogan spent some time there. It's just like a big suburban city, like right outside of Boston.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's like one of those places that people who work in Boston live
It's like
there.
the Boston metropolitan area, kind of.
Yeah, like suburban area, like because there's so many like nice schools and hospitals. You have MIT, Harvard. So it's like where all those people like who do
Where I
regular
grew up
9 to
is, like,
5
this-
go to raise families. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Where I grew up is like the southernmost suburb of DC.
Okay.
So kind of the same vibe.
Okay.
Sounds nice there.
It was pretty nice. Well, it got nice. Like my family got there like early '90s. The property value was like low. It was like $300,000. Now it's like $2.3 million.
Damn.
Like a plot of land will cost you like $500,000 just because it's become so desirable. Like if Boston College is also right in Newton too. Like there's a lot of good education there as well. Yeah, Northeastern. BU is there. So yeah, so my family was just moving around. Like we moved 15, 16 times as a kid just because it was crazy. People were coming in offering ridiculous prices for houses, and my family wanted to capitalize on that.
like around that area, not like different
Yeah, only
cities,
they
just
would-
like all in that area.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That thing is crazy.
It is.
That's
yeah,
great.
it
Yeah.
is.
What even is this thing called?
It's called a Stunden glass.
I feel like this is how aliens smoke weed.
Yes, it is. How we smoke
Stunden
weed.
glass. Is this German engineering?
It is. It's actually engineered by the guy who created this was an engineer for Apple
Really? And you just love smoking weed.
and just made a prototype of this in his garage one day. I've seen the original, and it was just a couple of Gatorade bottles and then a bunch of plastic tubing and shit. But yeah, he created this while he was working for Apple. He was there for like a decade, and then he just quit and went to work making these. Did it for a couple of years, and then sold the company to G Pen for like $100 million or some stupid shit.
That's wild.
Yeah.
What does that thing cost?
Like $600.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's a gnarly smoking device. I paid nothing for it.
There you go. Was it
Yeah.
free? It was a gift?
I sold my car to a guy who is like the nephew of the guy who invented them. And he saw this podcast between when we first met up and when he met me up to like give me the money.
Okay.
And he was like, "Hey, I saw that you smoked. I thought you might want one of these. I've got a bunch of them in my garage."
That's
Because
so
he's just
cool.
got a ton of them because his uncle makes them.
Right.
So yeah, he gave me the shit for free, just as like a hey, cool. You know? Yeah.
Thank you, though.
So I'm pooping in the toy box. I'm pooping in the
I was
pooping
thinking,
in the bathtub, pooping in the toy box, pooping in the bathtub, pooping at dinner time.
do you think it was like a potty train thing? Like you were just like, oh, I'm going to poop. And you were just like figuring out to go in the toilet every time? Do you think it was like not acceptable to poop in these places? Or you're just like, fuck it?
No, I think
Was
the
it like a
bathtub was-
one bathroom, too many people in the house situation? You know what
Like
I'm
an
saying?
act of defiance also? Like, I'm just going to make this mine.
I think pooping in the bathtub was more just like it's just the same principle as like if I can pee while I'm in the bathtub, I can poop while I'm in the bathtub. That was when I learned I couldn't poop in the bathtub, basically.
Yeah, that's when you
Pretty
you
sure
found out
we've
that
all
day.
learned that lesson. Like, oh, I'm not supposed to poop here.
I
Yeah.
learned that lesson through my cousins. I remember vividly being at my cousin's house and like my uncle starts yelling and both of them got beat, and that was the last day that my cousins ever like took a bath together because the older one fucking took a shit in the bathtub because he thought it was funny. And he was like, "Nope, that's fucking done. We're not doing that shit ever again." He was so mad. It was hilarious.
I'm pretty
But anyway, that I learned I was like, oh, don't fucking do that.
I'm pretty sure the
You'll get
toy
beat
box
real
was
good.
like an act of defiance or just trying to be funny. It was poop. Poop's funny.
Yeah, poop
You
is
know,
funny.
when you're 3 years old, 4 years old, poop is funny. This is one of my earliest memories, dude.
That's the best time to take poops in weird places.
But the the poo de gras.
God damn it! I was not ready for that.
So the
Yep.
Access Pundi.
The poo de resistance. I also would have accepted.
Okay. So the
Poo de
The
gras
final
is-
act.
Poo de gras is fucking.
the poo de gras is. Don't worry.
bathtub, chest.
All right. So the final one was Christmas. I don't know if I was like 4 years old or 5 years old. My birthday is late November, so Christmas is like literally a month after my birthday. I don't remember if I'm 4 or 5 at this time, but I woke up before my entire family on Christmas morning
Okay.
because my entire family's alcoholics. So why would they be up at 7 o'clock on a Sunday? 'Cause it was like
Fair point.
So I go in there. This is before I could read. And I just go in there and start helping myself to presents.
Oh, I thought this was a long time ago.
So I go in there and start opening presents.
Got him.
Like, a little kid who can't read, just thinking presents are for me. I pick which one is for me. That seems to be how things have been going. They seem to
Right.
just pick one out that's for me, and it's like, oh, it's a toy. Cool. So I go in there and start picking out presents, and I'm a naked little boy. I'm being naked, man.
Okay.
And I'm in the living room, sitting there, just like unwrapping presents. I remember I unwrapped the present I remember unwrapping that wasn't mine was my uncle's. It was like an electric shaver that they got him.
Okay.
My uncle used to live at Grandma and Grandpa's house too, until I was probably about 6 years old. He moved out. But yeah, so I opened that present. I remember that's the one I opened. I opened some other presents too. And while I was in the middle of opening up presents, I just kind of did the same thing that I, did in the bathtub, where it was like I just, carried myself as if I was wearing a diaper. And I pooped right there in the living room
Oh, you
floor
just shit as you sat.
as I sat opening presents. And the family woke up to me.
No way.
Shit in the carpet, shit on my, ass, fucking just like opening presents that aren't mine. And I got my motherfucking shitty little ass beat. Probably washed, but then beat.
Yeah.
And then I don't know how long it was after that I actually got my Christmas presents, but it was like a couple months.
You still
Yeah.
have
Before they're
presents
like,
in the present.
they bought them, right?
Dude, you
They
took
may
a
even return. They probably returned some now that I think about it. But I do remember getting presents later on that was like, hey, shitty man.
Hey,
You just-
fucker.
took a shit.
But that
on
was
Christmas,
that
dude.
Christmas. That was the last. That was when I solved my poo problem.
That was the last. That was the.
Yeah, you got
lesson
Potty
beat.
learned,
training
huh?
fucking complete. You know what I mean?
Just get your ass beat. You won't be doing crazy shit no more. That's why it's
Sure.
important to get your ass beat as a
Yep.
kid.
Yeah,
It is.
absolutely. It is a learning tool.
Yeah.
And I think that's wrong with America.
It's
There's no angry black comedians talking about how important it is to beat your children.
Yeah. There's a right way to beat your children.
Yep.
Like you can't do it when you're drunk.
Yeah, if you
That's-
use
you know
your
what I
left,
mean?
it's not gonna. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna.
It's not gonna really hurt them.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll be able to walk it off.
You gotta give them the right.
Yeah. That's
I-
awesome.
So I was.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. The
That's
way you-
awesome.
The way you,
That's
the way, I hope it was. I hope it was shag carpet. That's how
That's
awesome
so
I think
It
was.
was probably about like this thick carpet. It was good thick carpet.
Like a thick. Yeah, and also like.
It wasn't shag, but it was a modular home from the 70s, so it was pretty thick.
Yeah, it was
carpet.
it was close, and also like as a poor family, you don't have like, oh, I'll just grab the Bissell and fucking clean it up. No, somebody took a rag and fucking scrubbed that spot
bleach,
until shit didn't come out of the carpet anymore.
Yeah, and then they took scissors and like trim to the.
Yeah, the spots that
You know
wouldn't ever unbrown.
You know how many times I've trimmed carpet, either in places that I was renting from or at Grandma and Grandpa's house where I grew up, till like, oh fuck, I burned that.
I burned it. Meh. No, I didn't. Yep, absolutely.
I've spent just as much time trimming carpet that I did burn smoking drugs as I did looking for drugs that I
weren't
thought that
in
I
that
dropped.
carpet?
Yeah. Little pastime. You know, if you need something to do,
Yeah.
Right.
or you're high on meth or crack, all
Yeah,
night,
exactly. Yep.
Clean up.
Get the scissors out. You know, give that carpet cut. It ain't gonna grow back, but it's gonna look
it's
nice.
not. Well, it wasn't even.
You've done it before too. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, while I was down here looking for meth crystals, I noticed, I was like, oh man, you know why I can't find them? Because of this thick bit of carpet. Hold on,
Has that ever worked out for you? Trimmed some carpet and been like, whoa.
I have, okay,
Found
here's the
some
thing.
shit in the,
I have both smoked whatever I found in the carpet and was like, that's good enough. Whatever that was, a piece of rice or, you know what I'm saying? Just whatever chunk of something that I could put in there.
Yeah.
I have a friend
And
who
heat up.
shot cat litter.
Oh my God. Oh fuck. Dude.
Carpet surfing.
I know a guy who's
surfing.
I know
That's hilarious.
not as much when you're there. But yeah.
Yeah, when you're like watching yourself do it from a person point of view, and you're like, oh, bud.
Yeah.
It's not that funny. But later on,
But
you know,
now, yeah,
Looking
now.
back,
Yeah.
I mean, you grow, right, from those
Exactly.
experiences.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, you learn.
Yeah.
and you feel the shame, and that makes you not want to fucking do it again.
Right.
Shame is motivating.
And then you talk about it to be like, isn't that bad that I did that? Shouldn't I never do that again, everybody?
Yeah, it's the same as him like pulling his dick out and everybody laughing. We're like, remember when I abused crack? Isn't that funny? People are like, aha. Let's do it more.
Do
right
it
then?
again. Do it again.
Right.
No,
Except that was 4, and you were like,
I'm basically still 4.
yeah.
Yeah. But that's
What's
because of
wrong
the
for you?
I never stopped shitting in the
what the
bathtub.
drugs do to your brain.
Yeah.
Yeah. So mine isn't a shitting or coming story, but my dad grew up on this little farm in Ohio, in a little farming town that was just outside of
Was
an
that the
Amish
name?
town.
Farmington.
Little Farmington. No, Sugar Creek was the name of it. And then it was just outside of a town called New Philadelphia, which was an Amish town. Like the whole town was built and populated by Amish people, right?
What
So-
percentage would you say? Like 5 out of 10? I don't know, maybe people.
Oh,
10 out of
I
10?
did
9 out of
90%.
10?
90%
9 out of 10 people are
minimum.
Amish.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and if you weren't, it was a rare thing, and you probably were just like from one of the farm town families, and you didn't want to be on the farm. You know what I'm saying? So there were a few people that would come in there, but most of those people would end up marrying in and just becoming part of the Amish community anyway.
It was
yeah.
like 4 people that drove in 15 miles out to open the feed store because the Amish couldn't work there because it's the only building in town that had lights, but also we need the feed store open. But we can't work there.
yeah.
Cash registers are the devil.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but we really need you to fucking have one. Yeah. So
Do you think the Amish have like the way that Jewish practitioners have like Orthodox Jewish practitioners, right? They have like they'll have like a non-Jew come in.
oh, Shiva Goy?
Yes, right.
Not Shiva. Fucking what's it called?
Like the guy who comes in on Saturday on
the
Sabbath.
the Goy part is right. But it's on whatever they call it. Shabbat Goy. Yeah.
So do you think Amish have like that too? Well, like we can't fuck with electricity. Like we
not
need
not
certain
really.
things done.
No, they
No.
really they keep everything communal. Yeah, they really exist in a like the and I mean, as time goes on and the world changes, those rules have to relax a little bit. But as a rule, no, it's all very like controlled.
They don't like get a there's an Presbyterian. We'll have him come over and
no,
like,
they just
can
go,
send
they
an
just,
email for
they
us.
just do without.
Cool.
You know what I'm saying? They just don't do those things. You know, so.
But
So
anyway,
you're
so you're
Philadelphia.
you're visiting.
No,
new-
so I'm
Farmers,
my
Amish
farming
people.
or
my great grandfather had died, right?
Okay.
And so we're there for his funeral, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't know, 7. I was a little older, somewhere in that range, like 6 or 7 years old.
Okay.
And it was me and both of my cousins were within like a year of me. So obviously, anytime we got together, and up until I had just moved south. We lived just outside of Chicago until I was like 5, and then we moved to Southern Illinois.
Okay.
So like I had lived with them for most of my childhood. So we were all buddies, but also we were a bunch of fucking rambunctious little bastards, right?
Okay.
And then when we would get together, it would be like, you got to show who's the most of a pain in the ass. And also all 3 of us had like psychotically strict fathers. So it was like, as soon as you got out of view, you fucked up everything you could. Because it's like, I'm going to get my ass beat at the end of this function no matter what. For something.
even if I behave perfectly the
For
entire
something.
time, tell grandma I love her, do all
Right.
the things,
I'm
fucking
gonna
take out the trash.
step on his
going
toe. You know
down.
what I'm saying? Something's
Yeah.
gonna happen, and he's gonna beat me. So like, you might as well make it worth it,
Of course.
right? And so we would always fuck a lot of shit up.
Right.
But this particular time, it was like everybody was super on edge, obviously. And I remember the power went out at one point, and we were staying in the same hotel, but they were like on a different wing of it. And the power went out, and one of my cousins said to his dad, why don't Amish people like lights? But it was while the power was out, and his dad heard, why don't all these people like lights? And he thought he was just being a smartass, and he beat him for that, right? And then afterwards, he was like, oh, I misheard you. But you can't unbeat him. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it was
Damage
like,
is done.
So that was the type of shit that we were all dealing with. Like everybody was getting their ass whooped every 5
preemptive
seconds because
ass
everybody was
beatings.
just in a
Yeah.
shitty mood. And like that was the grandpa that like all of our dads had grown up like going to his farm. You know what I'm saying? That was the one. So like everybody was hard because that was great. You know what I'm saying? That was grandpa. Everybody loved that guy, right?
Yeah.
So everybody was in a shitty mood. So like when we're at the funeral at this church, and it was the town that he lived in, the little farming community, like was all German, and so like all of the buildings also were these giant brick buildings that he had built. Like my
Okay.
the guy who had died.
That's
so it was
crazy.
like it was also an icon. Like he was well known in the town. Everybody
Right.
knew him. So it was
He built the town.
basically
That's wild.
yeah. So so I remember everybody was super, like they kept us separated purposefully because obviously everybody knew, all the adults knew we were little fuckers and we were going to cause some havoc, right? So they went out of their way to like the day of make sure we were all separated so we wouldn't end up fucking some shit up, right?
Right.
And then at some point it was just like after the ceremony, during like just the, like everybody's eating afterwards, right? And everybody's, done their crying and all that shit. So we end up getting away, right? And we're in this like side room. And I remember this church it was like, there was the main like sanctuary area and then just rooms, like they were probably classrooms, you know what I'm saying? Something like that.
Yeah.
But like there were a fuckload of rooms off to the sides, and there was like doors to go into those rooms.
Okay.
And then they each had doors to go through them. So once you got into the rooms and away from the adults, you could go 6 rooms down through the doors and be gone in some places that they're like, where the fuck did they?
Whoa.
You close all the doors behind you, they're not going to find you. You know what I'm saying? So we were
Yeah.
playing, you know what I'm saying, running around and
It's like Benny Hill, y'all just like Scooby Doo, just running.
Yeah.
I pop up this side, then I pop down, and I'm out the door, and he's here. Yeah, that type of shit, just all around, right?
Oh yeah.
So, and then in the back, you could run outside, out the one door and in the other. So we're just like running and playing tag, and you know what I'm saying? We're knock some stuff over or whatever. we're causing a little bit of havoc.
Okay.
But like, again, nobody notices, and we're not like lighting things on fire or anything at this point.
Right.
So
Just
like,
playing a game of tag.
yeah, right, exactly, yeah. So we're probably being loud and obnoxious, but like, no, again, we're outside of most of the people. Nobody's using those rooms. And then we ended up in the last room, and there was like a bunch of stuff like silverware and stuff like that, but it was like fancy silverware and stuff like that, and like, you know, of like expensive vase and like that type of shit in that room. And I don't know if it was just like they had stored it there because that event was happening, so they're like, knowing families and kids are going to be there, they took all the expensive shit and put it, something like that, right?
Right.
Because there's just all of this stuff on the table, right? And so we start like playing frisbee with this like silver fucking plate that's obviously like fine china. You know what I'm saying? Like looking back on it, like it was like, you know, something that had been blessed by a holy man or something left at the, you know what I'm saying? Something like really important, right? That we're just like chucking it across, right? And then one of my cousins goes to throw it over the table to me, and he hits the fucking vase. And the vase, the top of it, like, kind of breaks off, and then it hits the ground, and it spills because it's the fucking urn where my grandfather's ashes currently are.
No way.
And it didn't spill off of the table, and it was like the table had one of those, like, plasticky tablecloths. And I remember later on when one of the aunts found it, and we didn't ever like everybody knew it was us that had fucked it up when it finally got found. But it was one of the few moments that nobody ratted anybody out. You know what I'm saying? We were all so terrified of the consequences that we were like, distance yourself.
A unified front.
I was never even on that side of the church. I don't know who is this guy? You know what I'm saying? Like that level of, we were
That's
like,
my cousin?
we will never admit to this shit. Like, if somebody's watching today from my family, they're finding out now that it was us that did this, right?
That's crazy.
But I do remember one of the aunts came in and like starts screaming, like you know, pass out, like super, just goes hysterical, right?
Right.
And everybody's like, what the fuck is going on? And everybody rushes in. But I remember she like got all the ashes ended up on the table, so she ended up like getting them back in the urn. But I remember that was like the first time that I had created enough like havoc that it like fucked up everything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like that was the first time I was like, oh, you can really, like, again, I got my ass beat for everything, so I was like, you get in trouble no matter what you do. But that was the first time I was like, oh, you can fuck shit up real bad.
Right.
Like that was I remember vividly. That was the first time I'd ever done something. I was like, "Oh, this was real bad."
Yeah, you would have got the shit. Oh my god.
Oh my god, I would still be getting my ass beat right now for that. Yeah.
How'd they clean it up?
A fucking like a little broom or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just swept it back into the urn.
The same urn.
Wow. Yeah.
Crazy. That tray that knocked over the urn. Would you call it the ashtray?
Yeah.
Nice. Those are the two stories. Can I ask questions about the story?
Fuck yeah, please do.
No.
No.
Not his. You can't trust his story because it's a lie.
Gabe's a liar.
I don't know. Gabe's was pretty descriptive. You're warming up the thing. Sorry. That bugged me. I don't know
It does.
why.
Yeah, it does.
That
It
threw me
throws you
off.
off. Yeah.
Pretty baked.
It's a weird
This
noise.
is fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Scott Poopin. Do people still bring that up in your family? Do you remember what year you pooped on Christmas?
Do you get shit about?
Yeah, do you get shit about shitting on Christmas?
Probably like 96.
Probably.
So we're coming up on what, 30 years? 30-year anniversary?
Nice.
I'm excited for that.
Do you guys get together and celebrate the thing?
Well,
Every
I
decade?
get together and I poop under the Christmas tree.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
And that's gonna be fun. And I'm gonna get my uncle a new razor.
Commemorate every year. And then shit on it.
Does my family still talk? I don't really talk to my family anymore.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fair.
After the whole,
After
shit
the whole
on the
shit
carpet
thing?
yeah, they were like,
You just moved out?
get out.
There were pictures though in like the family photo album.
Really? With poop on your butt?
Poop on my butt.
Mm.
And like
somebody-
up on my lower back a little
Somebody,
bit.
oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
That is,
Grandma always had like, it was, the early 90s, Grandma always had a disposable. And she had fucking My uncle still has them, but there's like
Good.
probably like 10 photo albums. A couple are like grandchild specific, and then some of the others are just. I mean, there's pictures in there from like the 60s and 70s.
That's an hour.
But yeah, there was a whole shelf dedicated to photo albums in my childhood.
That's
home.
exciting.
I grew up at
Yeah.
grandma and
Yeah.
grandpa's
Yeah.
house.
My mom made mad photo albums.
Yeah,
that was so cool.
Both of my
Scrapbook.
grandmas. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. Sometimes there would be like crossover where you're like, oh, both of the families went on that vacation.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You would see the the same moment from a different camera in one of the books or the
Yeah,
other one. It would be
that's cool.
interesting.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right.
I feel like that's a tradition that people should. Physical media is becoming popular again. Like
It's a good, yeah. It's the
having like
the reality
actual
of going
photos.
through, like, when was the last time you went through your digital photos? They're there. You might keep them, but you're not like, oh, let me look through the. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're like, oh, what was that? Remember that moment? Then you might go to it. But like just thumbing through, you're not really going to do that with digital. But with physical ones, you're like, oh, let me open the book, and then you're naturally just going to look through all of them till you get to the end, right?
Because with hers, you could like see the timeline from like when her and my grandfather got together and stuff, and
And a lot of
first started
times there'd be
taking
no,
pictures.
you know what I'm saying? They'd write something,
Yeah.
the date or the
Uh-huh.
event or
And
something
a
like that.
description.
Man, I
Yeah,
miss
you're
My
like,
mom
oh
went
shit, that's what
ham
the
with
moment
the
was
I
like.
miss
Yeah,
that.
She wrote pages. It was crazy.
like paragraphs
Yeah,
on the
we went
back
to
of her.
Disney
letter.
World. There's like whole there's an album dedicated to
She
Disney
just
World.
describes like like this morning when we fucking
Yeah.
It's also mom's diary. Yeah,
she's journaling on the back of the fucking.
but there's one in there about how she was fantasizing about Daffy Duck, and she didn't mean for that to get in the family photo album, but it
But
got
it's
in
there.
there, and
It's there.
now you know why Dad dresses up like Daffy Duck on Mom's birthday every year.
Yeah.
You know, but that's Mom. You love her. She's a good lady.
Wonderful woman.
She is.
Salt of the earth. Well, salt of your dad.
Yeah. I think you're both telling the truth.
Well, that's not possible.
Is that not possible?
Yeah,
One
one
of
of
us
us is
has to lie.
lying.
Really? I thought last time when I was on the show, you guys were both.
We
telling the
described it at the beginning.
Yeah, we told you.
We refined the process. It was too much.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it
yeah,
used to
yeah,
be
so
I
much.
forgot.
we originally when we did it, we would both flip a coin, and one of us could be lying, and the other one could be lying. One of us, but now it's just
We just flipped the one.
it's
coin.
one or the other. It just
That's
makes
funny.
it easier. Yeah.
Well, I already feel like a dunce for fucking it up. But now I guess I have a 50-50
yeah.
shot.
Yeah. Narrows it down, makes it easier.
I think Scott.
I think I'm lying
Yeah.
because my story was shorter.
I think some part felt scripted. The Kumba, Poopa, whatever that.
Poop.
Poopa.
Coup de grace?
Coup de grace.
I
said
thought of
put it
that
down.
as I was talking. Oh, you don't think that I could be witty? That's
This is an attack. This is an attack
Yeah.
on your ability to do.
No, I don't know.
proverbs.
There was
No?
less details. Gabe had more details. You're like I pooped in the bathtub, pooped in the toy chest.
That is good
on
reasoning.
Christmas.
I think that's good reasoning. You want to lock that in?
I'm gonna lock it in.
Lock in that outline?
Sorry, not today. I was lying. He was telling the truth.
Wow.
Wrong. I like to poop.
The only lie
Crazy.
was that he stopped doing it. That was the only part.
Okay.
Of it.
So your whole story was fabricated.
No, the urn and all that stuff. I mean, that was I remember that event, like my grandfather's funeral. I
Yeah, we
based it
did
off
not
that
go
time,
over
but
his.
no, none of that stuff. He was buried. He wasn't even cremated.
Nice.
Yeah. But he
got
pooped.
me.
He pooped in the coffin.
I
though.
did shit. Yeah, I shit in the coffin. That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
Then he ran around the funeral naked.
Hell yeah.
My grandfather, not me. He's just been shit on. You know what I'm saying? You got to give him that one. And he was dead. What you gonna do?
Yeah.
Where can people find you?
Yeah, plug your
What's
shit.
your social
People can
security
find
number?
me Ramin Ramin the MC THEMC.
Excellent. What is your show and when does it happen?
A show. I'm the co-host of Faded Realities. Just follow us on Instagram.
Okay.
Go on my page. You'll see me tagged in a bunch of clips.
Okay. We'll have links to everything in the
Yeah,
episode.
it'll be. You'll find it Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah,
Fuck yeah.
we'll do the thing.
How often do you
Very
do
bad
that show?
Shout out. We do a pop up, so we've been doing it like twice a month,
Okay.
but that's been getting us through.
Okay. So people need to follow for timing and
Yeah.
and all that shit because
Pop up, yeah.
Okay.
Because we just
fun.
do it when people are around. But like we plan it out, so like at the beginning of the month we'll be like, all right, we're gonna have shows on these dates. You know what I mean? because people got a lot of shit going on. Maybe
Yeah.
somebody's
Yeah,
traveling.
it gives people a
so-
little bit of time to
yeah, a
plan
little
for it,
flexibility.
but it's also like it's not like it's on the second Thursday every month.
Yeah.
Rotates. Nice. That's exciting.
Yeah, they're fun. The shows are long, so we we'll watch TV for like 2.5, 3 hours,
Uh-huh.
and then just like chop that up and have a bunch of clips.
Fuck
So
yeah.
there's a lot of good moments.
Nice.
It's very live. Yeah, check it out. Also performing at East Austin Comedy.
Yeah, we'll
So
have a link to
come
East
by
Austin
there.
as well, yeah.
Shout them out too.
Yeah. Yeah, we love those guys.
I'm really bad with
It's a
shout
super
outs.
enthusiastic shout out to East Austin. I'm sure that'll get
Woohoo!
lots
East
of
I don't know
love.
how to.
Austin,
I'm
those
not a
guys are
shout out guy.
fucking-
It's a weird
those
thing
guys
for
are
me.
guys.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like promoting your stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like fun creating.
Yeah, but I agree with you. I'm not shitting on you for that, but we got to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something you got to do.
It's just a weird,
Yeah, it is.
cringy feeling.
It's I feel that especially on stage, but you have to. Like,
That's easier.
especially if you crush, you know what I'm saying, and you're in a good room, you got to put your shit out there.
I
so
think that's
people know.
easier. Exactly. If you crush, you're like, oh, they love you. I can say what
But
I
you don't
wanna
feel like
say.
you crushed on this episode?
I feel like you don't have that live feedback, so it's weird. I'm just like,
I heard
moaning
Tony
myself.
You can't hear
laugh a bunch
Tony?
times.
No, I thought it was a good episode.
It was an excellent episode. Yeah, this is a lot
You
of fun. It
guys
was a
had
good
fun?
story. Yeah.
I got pretty high.
That was I like yeah, you're welcome. That's
Thank
our goal.
you.
Yeah. You got high enough you couldn't tell who was lying, and that literally is
That's
the
the
goal.
point.
Of
That's the
podcast.
game.
Yeah. But
You
that
guys
was
got
fun.
me.
Sometimes I get so high that I forget who's lying.
Really?
It's
Yes.
interesting.
What's the highest you've ever been
Here's
on
the
the
thing.
podcast?
We've done this a couple of episodes, and we'll never tell anybody who, but a couple of episodes after we decided one of us is lying and one of us is telling the truth every time. There's been a couple episodes where we both came in and told a true story because we forgot one of us was supposed to lie, and then we got to the end and we were like,
So you told 2 stories each.
yeah. So there's a couple of episodes where one of us says we were lying when we were actually telling the truth because we were too stoned to remember which one of us was
Right.
supposed to fucking lie.
Dude,
The
that
moral
thing
of
gets
this
you crazy
podcast
high.
is-
that thing is crazy.
Don't trust us.
Don't trust us. Yeah, yeah. Even when we admit to lying, we
That's
might have
fun.
been telling the truth.
I felt like I've been deceived.
Good.
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 Yeah.
You were.
Once
That's
you
a
feel
fun
dirty.
drive home.
Yeah.
Like, oh, fuck.
I can't trust either of these motherfuckers.
I lost the fucking game. God damn it.
Yeah. Well, that just means you have to come on and play again.
Yeah.
Will you have me on again?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Fuck
of
yeah.
course.
Yeah, this is a blast.
How often do you guys do this? Do you have a schedule and shit?
We do it every
need
Sunday.
more.
Yeah,
now.
we're doing it weekly.
Yep.
Wow.
We'd love to do your show sometime.
Definitely. Come to the one on the 23rd. This Thursday.
I'll be out of town. But
Are you going to be around?
I'll be at the next one. Do you have the next one scheduled yet or not?
No, probably
Okay.
June 1st. But I mean, I'm around that month too. So
Okay. I'll be
Sorry, my
back
throat's-
by the 1st. Yeah.
You're fine.
do you get that?
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
that
well,
thing?
yeah. And
Get a
this
giant
yeah,
thing of water.
absolutely.
Drink that water.
Yeah.
Let's go smoke cigarettes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Throw
That'll
more
help.
cancer in there.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you. for
Oh,
listening.
we forgot to do this part. Welcome to the Stoney Baloney podcast.
Welcome
It's good to be here.
and goodbye.
I'm very stoned. Bye bye.